Good morning and welcome to Embrace Church Darlington, and today I'm going to be speaking on keeping going. Yeah, keeping going in difficult times. The Bible sometimes calls that endurance. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Now, really I shouldn't be here for two reasons. One, my wife should be doing this talk, and the reason why is that it's actually our 23rd wedding anniversary today, so we should be out celebrating. And the second thing is she's probably much better to be speaking on enduring, because she's had to endure me and persevere with me for all those years. So she's much more qualified than I am to speak on this. I was going to treat my wife Tony to an all expenses trip around the world, but well, you know, lockdown and all that. And anyway, I don't think the lemon top shops in Redcar are even open at the moment. So, keeping going in difficult times. Here we are. You know, we all go through difficult times and difficult seasons in life. It's not just this COVID-19 lockdown, although that gives us something of a common and shared experience. It can be other things: illness, disability, lack of money, lots of things. Lots of things can cause us to go through difficult times and difficult seasons. And if you're sat here watching now and thinking, I can turn off because life's brilliant right now, well, I urge you to stay tuned, because one thing we can be sure of in life is that, it's full of ups and downs. And if you're not in the middle of a difficult time right now, guess what? They're likely to crop up sooner or later. So stay tuned if that's you. What do we mean by to endure, to keep going? What does the dictionary say about enduring? One definition, I'm just reading it here, is to hold out with patience against pressure. So we're feeling pressure in life sometimes, and it's not to give up, it's not to be crushed by it, but it's to hold out, to stand firm, to keep going. Another definition that I really like is this: to come through a trial without impairment, to not be too damaged at least at the end of it. And today, I'm going to urge you to keep going, but more importantly than that, give you 12 top tips of how to keep going in difficult times. So as I say, if you haven't got a difficult time going on right now, well, just remember this video, maybe save it or something and just whip it out when you are going through one. But actually, these top 12 tips, I think, will help us at any time in life, in any stage in life. And the better we get into these 12 top tips, these 12 good habits really, then the better equipped we'll be when the difficult times come anyway, and help us live a better life even when things are good. So it is about keeping good habits, and let's take a look at some of these. Number one, so 12, I'm going to be as quick as I can. Number one, just remember in life, you've got this far already. You must have overcome some difficult times already. So you're already doing well. All right? Give thanks to God for that. Give thanks for God for all his help in the past. Whether you recognize it or not, actually, sometimes, whether you see it or not, sometimes, he's there and he's helped. I've got no doubt about that. So number one, you're doing well. Keep going. Number two, whatever you think of my body, whatever you think of your body, God has a very high view of our bodies. He tells us that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. I'm just clicking something off my computer there, some kind of pop-up, whatever you call it. We're meant to look after our bodies. So we're allowed 1 hour's exercise a day at the moment. I would say use that well. Take your dog for a walk. If you've got a dog, get out and just have a walk around the local park. If you haven't got a dog, go for a jog. Do whatever. Just use your hour well. Use it wisely. It's a gift from God, our bodies, believe it or not. You might not think so looking at mine, but it is. It is. If you're more of an indoor person, or you need to be indoors, use the many resources on telly and on the internet and all of that are great for indoor fitness. Look after your body. It is true. It is true that a healthy body helps with a healthy mind, and vice versa, of course. Number three, linked to that, eat well and drink well. Try to get your 5 a day. I know it sometimes almost seems impossible to get 5 of these fruit and veg into you every day, and you might not manage it every day, but eat well, drink well, plenty of water, dilute the juice, especially with the hot weather coming now. But look after the body God's given you. It will help you physically and mentally. Number four, remember in difficult times, you are not alone. Don't bottle everything up. Talk to people. Get advice. Ring someone. The Bible tells us that good advice is important. Wise people, it says, seek advice. But be wise in who you ask. And be wise, you be wise in who you ask. You be wise in what you do with that advice. If someone it just tells you what you want to hear, that's not always good advice. Okay? Someone who gives you good advice will lovingly tell you sometimes how to do things better, or maybe to change something that you shouldn't be doing, or stop doing something you are doing. Find someone who will be honestly truthful and lovingly truthful with you. If someone's saying go for a walk every day, that's good advice. If someone's saying, to get through stuff, just get smashed every night, that's probably not so good advice, is it? Nothing wrong with a drink sometimes, but you know what I'm saying there. Too much drink won't help you with anything, actually. Keep connected with people. Don't do it all alone. Even if it's just to ring up and receive a word of encouragement from someone, or for you to be that person to someone else. Okay? But number four, you are not alone. Number five, We can look outside our circle of friends, actually. We can look at those who are doing well. Now, important point here, don't be fooled by outward appearances. They're not always the people who are doing well. But look at those who have overcome difficulties before. How did they do it? What inspired them? What good habits did they use to overcome problems that maybe you can take on board in your life in this difficult time? Again, no, choose your role models carefully. They should be good role models. I would recommend reading Hebrews 11. If you don't know where that is, it's a book in the Bible you can find in the New Testament, about 3/4 of the way through or so. It's full of people who were just heroes of the Bible, really, heroes of the Old Testament, really, and you could read about them. Look at some of the problems they had, look at some of the difficulties they had, and see what they did to overcome those problems. And maybe you can put some of those good habits into your life. So number 5, look at those who are doing well and see where you can imitate. Number 6, take some rest every day, but not so much that you become demotivated. That will actually make you worse, not better. Rest isn't a lifestyle. We shouldn't be at rest all day long. We should be resting from something. We're meant to be active. We're meant to be involved in life. This can involve busyness. Some of us still going to work full time. Get a routine into your day. That's important, but include some rest. The Bible tells us to love ourselves. We often overlook that, but it does. It says, love yourself. Look after yourself. Get some rest, get some relaxation. It's an important part of enduring over difficult times and just getting the best out of life, even when things are going well. Halfway there already. Number 7, remain rooted in reality, but look on the bright side. The Bible tells us that a cheerful disposition causes us good health. That's back to what we were saying before, really. Healthy body leads to a healthy mind. Well, this is telling us that a healthy mind helps with a healthy body. Don't always think the worst. And you know what? Don't be like I used to be like, where I was just hopelessly optimistic. I had my head in the sand often with things, and I was just very naive, not real about things. No, be real about it, right? But I prefer this phrase, be a possibilist. Choose to smile. Now, my wife's an expert at this. She can tell you all kinds of things that happen, chemical reactions in the brain, that when you smile, does you good. Now, I like to be on the end of someone else's smile, so actually you're doing someone else good as well. But a smile does you good. Remember, the Bible tells us a sunny disposition is good for your health. All things are possible with God for those who love it. So be a possibilist, because all things are possible. That's a sunny disposition. However your day is going, think, yeah, but all things are possible for those who love the Lord. You know what? Choose to smile. Look on the bright side. If the news gets you down, don't watch it so much. Again, don't avoid reality totally. We need to live in the real world with our feet firmly rooted in reality. But look on the bright side. Look at what God can do, might do, will do. Choose to smile. Number 8, when you are outside shopping or exercise or to and fro from work, whatever it might be doing, take a moment, look around, look up, and remember your Creator. God created this world. But He didn't just create it, He sustains it. When you really look at the world, when you really look at creation, you realise how awesome it is. And I genuinely mean that word, awesome. From the fine detail to the grand majesty of some of the things we see in creation. It's breathtaking. Creation needs a creator, a powerful, mighty, amazing, loving creator. And that powerful, amazing, mighty, loving creator is the God of the Bible. Remember that. He didn't just create the world, He sustains it. And here's the really good news. He didn't just create you, He will sustain you. That's good news. Remember your Creator. Number 8. Number 9. Keep reading the Bible every day. If reading the Bible is not part of your daily habit, now is the time to make it part of your daily habit. Make that part of your habit today. You can make that change today. Even if it's for 5 minutes a day, it will do you good. I'm going to recommend this as we're going through hard times, or if you're going through hard times, or for when you are going through hard times. Look in the Psalms. That's a book in the Old Testament of the Bible. So I've mentioned the New, I'm now mentioning the Old. And if you get a Bible and open it about halfway through, you will find yourself more or less at the Psalms. Read a Psalm a day. Just read it. See how things we go through, people through the ages in all parts of the world, in all generations, have gone through similar. They have gone through difficult times before you. God helped them in those difficult times. God is a faithful God. If he was faithful to them, he will be faithful to you. Get into the Bible, read it every day. Even if it's for 5 minutes, it will do you good. Number 9, read the Bible every day. Number 10, don't just connect with people. Connect with God. Yeah, I said get wise advice. Have friends around you that encourage you on phone calls. Just having a laugh with people sometimes. Watching a film, whatever it might be. Your rest time with people, your serious time with people. But don't just connect with people. Even really good people. Connect with God. There is a God. There's one God. And he desperately wants to have a relationship with you. He created you. He made you. Talk to God. Bible Christians, we sometimes call that praying, right? But don't pray as a last resort. No. Talk to God as a first things first sort of attitude. Not, troubles come, I've tried everything else, I may as well try and pray. No. Go to God first. Pray, talk to God, and then just take that moment to let him speak to you. It's not always instant, it's not always clear, it's not always obvious. Give him some time, let him speak to you. It can often be through when you're reading the Bible, through when you're just relaxing, through when you're enjoying his creation. I've heard God speak to me when I've been washing up, listening to music, watching a film. Sometimes it's just come through someone else who's just given me a little bit of advice, and I just sense God in it. Okay? But listen to God. He might just drop a picture or something into your dreams or into your thoughts, whatever it might be. Okay? Listen to him. He wants to help you. And I can say this in all reality and sincerity and genuineness, if that's a word. I have found God to be a great helper in times of trouble. That's one massive way of getting through, of enduring, of persevering, of keeping going. Talk to God and let God talk to you. He's helped me massively. He can help you too. Number 11, remember times of trial, tribulation and trouble usually come to an end. Just remember that. Keep that in mind. It wasn't always like this. It probably won't always be like this, whatever you're going through. You've overcome before. I said that earlier. But these things tend to come to an end. Keep going. And number 12, I really want you to remember this. Because when we go through difficult times, if we allow God to speak to us through it, to do things to us through it, to change us through it, it's never wasted. I can honestly say that from experience of my own and from experience I've seen of people really close to me. The Bible tells us this: everything works together for good for those who love God. The Christian God, the God of the Bible, let me just say that again, everything works together for good. So when you're at the bottom of the pit, in your darkest, deepest despair, and I've been there, we've all been in those pits sometimes, haven't we? 1, God knows about it. And 2, God will make good from that if we only let him, if we only involve him in our lives. God will always produce good out of it. Here's just a few things, general things he produces out of difficult times that we go through. He develops patience in us. We don't just get a microchip from God. There you go, more patience. No. As we go through difficult times, He helps us, he stretches us, and we grow in patience to handle things better the next time. So we grow in patience. We grow in experience of those times. So they're never necessarily as bad again the next time. We know how better to deal with things the next time. We grow in resilience. God helps us with those things. We don't need to fall apart again and again and again, because actually we're growing in resilience as we go through them. That will help you massively next time. You can get a greater confidence, self-confidence. And self-confidence isn't necessarily like a wrong thing. It's not anti-God or anything like that. You know, it's just knowing that God's with you, being confident of that. And actually, I've done this before. With God's help, I can do this again. In fact, I can do it better next time and help others. He develops a compassion in you for others, so that when you see others suffering, you feel that for them. You know what it's like. You have a greater desire to want to help people. I've had so much help from people because they've understood suffering, because they've been through it themselves. We can be those people back to others. It can develop deeper friendships as we cling to each other. Often it's the difficult times that throw real friendships together, isn't it? Where you really see who your friends are, who comes up trumps for you. You know, it can really develop friendships. And I love this one. It can develop a greater appreciation of the good times. So there we go, 12 top tips of how to keep going in difficult times. We don't succeed at them all perfectly every time. There'll be ups and downs along the way. But if you can get these 12 top tips into your lifetime, they won't just help actually in difficult times. They'll help in the good times too. So to conclude, connect with those good habits that I've been talking about and disconnect with bad habits. We all have some, but the more we put our time and our effort and our energy to these good habits, that's ironic, isn't it? We can put time, effort and energy to the good habit of resting. Yeah, actually, sometimes we need to carve out that time to rest. But yeah, the more we put effort and energy and our time towards the good habits and let God into those good habits, actually, the less time we'll spend on bad habits. That must do us good. It really does. And of course, seek God's help with this. You can't do it on your own. I don't know how many times I've made New Year's resolutions, for example, and broke them by, middle of January. It's very hard to overcome these things on our own. But with God's help, get these habits into your life. And if you're not someone who has God in your life right now, if you're not someone who's following Jesus, you can make that decision right now. You can A, B, C. It's that easy. You can A, you start by admitting you've done, said, thought things wrong, that you're not perfect, you're not the finished article, but you're a human being like me, who gets things wrong along the way and needs help in life. And you can, if you can accept that, you've made the first step. The second step, B, is to believe that Jesus is who he said he is in the Bible. He's the Son of God, and that he died for you on the cross, so that those things we talked about in part A, the things we've said, done and thought wrong, actually he's wiped the slate clean. He's took the punishment at the cross for those things. And you stand before God as an innocent person, not as a guilty one who has done those things in reality, but one who's clean now in front of you because Jesus paid the price. And C, you can choose to follow him. It really is that simple. A, accept you've done wrong. B, believe that Jesus is who he said he is and did what he said he did at the cross. And C, choose to follow him. Amen.